that would have been indicative of more dive-oriented play if they had switched Roar in, but that is not what we have seen so far.
Nope.
And Chunksix on the Winston here to start things off, at least.
Well, fans voicing their opinion, giving some support here for their teams today. Starting on the attack. It's going to be KongDoo Panthera. We'll see if they can have some better luck. Right now, Youngjin showing the Soldier 76. Or sorry, I'm looking at the wrong side. It's going to be Metabellum on the attack. So yeah, Youngjin going to be sticking through with the Soldier, and Ding has the Hanzo.
Yeah, so running with the attack Soldier here, interestingly enough, and
I'm all turned back.
it's all right. You're fine. You're
I'm
fine.
abandoning.
All right, so let me just hold over a second. Let me try some play-on-play. Oh, Soldier shoots left click. Wow. Surprising to see Soldier rushing through here. On the ground, they do burst down with all this damage. Ding on the other side, and Youngjin's not able to get in a position to support him with Biotic Field. He gets onto the high ground, though, so he's going to have some opportunities to shoot some pot shots through.
All right, I'm back. I was playing some solo queue. I'm no longer a bronze caster. I made it back up into Masters where I belong. Youngjin going to go down. CCJ coming in, finishes off Decay, and Luppy has fallen.
Glad to have you back.
Panthera going to be halted there on that push. Thanks to, I just had to get back into the group. Sometimes you have a bad season, you get a rough few games in there.
Yeah.
So well, it's just a matter of getting back into the group, so we're good.
Ding getting demeched immediately meant that Youngjin couldn't do anything, even though he was able to go on the high ground by himself. We all knew that wasn't going to be for very long. He wasn't very sneaky about it. Ding is the target here again. He's just trying to set up to allow them through, but Youngjin gets picked by right leg.
Big biotic grenade there from Aim God. They immediately find Coma, and everybody coming around the corner just gets chopped down. Base yet again. And that Dragon Blade ready to go, gets Luppy right on the tail end. CCJ, another consolation prize, but no way to get in onto the point there for KongDoo.
Can I be too real for a second? I don't get Panthera's comp. I don't think it's good. I don't think Soldier is ever really going to have a great line of sight in this choke point here. If he can get onto the high ground, and that's a big if, through execute a coordinated dive, maybe, but he can't do it so far.
Here comes an nano boost. Rio says, hey, pushing it up the staircase. It's snapping away. Ding there out of that mech. Can't do it. Still, KongDoo are very much contained here into the side room. Ding desperately trying to get himself back out there to match up with the rest of his squad, but the stick comes through. Chunksix going to take a lot of damage, forces out the Primal Rage, and he's still at half HP. Decay taken down by Naze. He's trying to wrap around on the backside, but does not find it. The Genji, the ninja, knows too well the ways of sneaking around and gets rid of that pesky little Brit. Chara there with that Transcendence helps keep everybody topped up. Throws out that Orb of Harmony in.
Chara has been playing so well on this Zenyatta here on the defense. He's gotten so many right-click kills. Not enough to save the point necessarily, though.
They still don't have that first tick yet, but they're desperately trying to get it. Pulse bomb there for Decay. If he can find the angle, if he can get around the defense matrix, perhaps he can pick it up. Rio here with the Primal Rage trying to buy some time as Hoon goes down. They want to get him back into the fight, but the first tick comes through as Metabellum starts peeling back. CCJ will get taken down in the end by Coma, of all people. He's able to finish him off.
Well, the Coalescence usage in the beginning of that fight helped them win the tank war, which eventually broke the back of Metabellum. Luppy used it, it looked like perhaps a little bit wastefully early, but they won the longer fight because of it. Youngjin finally made the switch to a more normal hero here, so it's dive versus dive. We'll see if he can out Genji. Nice here.
Nanobu's going to be coming through. Aim God forced all the way back by that Moira. Sound barrier in with that Coalescence. And they managed to take out Nace, a very crucial target here for KongDoo Panthera, but they need more than that if they want to get in onto the point right now. Ticking up, looking for the first one. CCJ rejoining here as he wraps around over onto the high ground. It seems like KongDoo, they're losing out here onto Ding in the mech. Youngjin down. They might just have to abandon the push for now and try again later.
Yeah. We're definitely going to try again later as they
What if they just AFK'd for the next 4.5 minutes?
They're like,
that's fine.
The push is over and we're not going to try again later.
Screw it.
Just sat in the point for 4 minutes. That would be, I think that would be poor sportsmanship.
It would be.
But
I think they would be punished for that.
Achilios, we got double Dragon Blades out here now, and the defensive position and the Ana here for Metabellum is going to make it much easier for Nice to capitalize on him. Remember, Youngjin, again, not known for Genji play, and it's going to be his first Genji of this series, so I'm a little bit worried about how this next play is going to get pulled out, especially because KongDoo Panthera is a little bit inconsistent and a little bit non-committal in their push. They're going to take this high ground now. Everyone's kiting back, and spotted already.
Young Nace looking to take out his enemy Genji. Has that nice deflection here. Coalescence coming through to top him back up. The Dragon Blade is there, as well as the Primal Rage, and Rio finds the killing blow. Now looking for Luffy here, but Nace has to climb up the wall to keep himself safe and alive. Goes down low, can't pick up any further kills, but even just the one pick might have been enough to stop KongDoo Panthera from getting in onto the point. They're still trying for it, however, trying to force out this objective. But Bellum now returning in, trying to stop this push. Sleep Dart comes in, I believe he just clipped him, yeah, as he tried to leap away. Now Chungsing is in a bad spot. Biotic Grenade to the back of the dome, he'll go down. Youngjin trying to pick up some pieces here with the Dragon Blade. One more swipe, finds a double kill. Nice and Aim God both go down, but they still don't have even 33%.
Now it's really sloppy Dragon Blade coming out from Nice to start that fight off. They are stabilizing here a little bit now in the moment. That nano has been held for so long. They want to waste it, or use it rather, on the Winston very likely here.
Might have to use it rather soon. Coma there with that heal, and I gets taken down, and Luffy falls as well. KongDoo Panthera yet again are going to have to start from scratch. And they just cannot manage to get a single tick.
Yeah, and Aim God just continues to keep everybody healed up here very successfully. His Bio Grenades, his Sleep Darts have been on point. He hasn't had to use this Nano Boost as a result. He's just keeping Rio healthy enough that the Nano isn't required to save him. Youngjin has had enough with this Genji attempt. He has gotten a few more kills, but they just couldn't finish anyone off. They couldn't capitalize on it because Aim God has been so well positioned. He's been able to get so many good heals off here and Bio Grenades. He's going to try to take the high ground approach with the Soldier instead.
Aim God right now, he's going to be fine. He throws out that Nano Blade, double kill immediately off the first dash. Coma and Youngjin just disappear. I get the feeling away. He's celebrating. He says, "Oh, nobody else is nearby because I killed him all." Ha
I get the feeling Nice isn't a big fan of Youngjin's long-range hit scan. Or maybe he is, because it allows him to get a lot of kills, but we've seen so many times Youngjin's tried to set up with the McCree, with the Soldier, and he's met with death on the side of Nice. Huge choke point, choke up there for Panthera. They telegraphed their movements. It was very obvious they're trying to get a Soldier on the high ground. Aim God said, let's prevent that from happening. They used the ults early, they commit a lot, but there's not that much time left on the bank for Panthera.
Yeah, this has been drained down very steadily, very systematically here by Bellum. And losing out onto Luffy is already pretty much going to stop that push unless Coma can get the res off, but he is also under fire. Now Chungsing is dead. Nice wrapping around from the side. Good deflection there. We'll go ahead and get the melee into Ding to knock him out of that mech. And yet again, KongDoo Panthera will be held at bay.
Now they are just getting really slaughtered right now, unable to really gain any ground, and it's very obvious what their plan is, to get Youngjin on the high ground. Maybe taking a different approach, or even trying to protect him on the low ground, get a pick onto Ana early could be a better way to do this, but they keep bunching themselves up into this second floor choke point. They're running it down right, and Nice is going to have another Nano Blade to shut them down on their final push. Youngjin needs someone to get a pick or to prevent this Genji from getting on top of him, or this isn't going to work. Hey, Nano almost ready, and they're going to look to shut Youngjin down. If they can do that, this push is over. Here we go.
Here comes another one. Nice, just slashing away, finds two. Looking for another one, and everybody on KongDoo Panthera is just going to get shut out. Ding just jumping off the map. Will be killed in the end, actually, by Rio with the lead.
Super predictable what they're doing.
I don't know if they can do it.
I don't think so. They're going to have quick run back with Soldier. Ding can boost back, but they have that the attack visor, but I have no faith it's going to do anything because they just simply can't get him into position to make it happen.
Oh, Decay goes in, immediately gets knocked down to 8 HP. Overtime ticking through. Chungsing going to leap forward. Primal Rage going to come out. Rio's going to be the recipient of that Nano Boost. Jumps onto the high ground, has the Primal Rage ready to go. He can just keep them gated away. Might not even need to use it. There we go. Does pop this one out in the end as Coma uses the Valkyrie. They just try to get away from the arranged monkey. Ding falls as soon finishes him off. Could not get the remake. And it's just dire straits here for KongDoo Panthera. Chungsing up on into the air, will get taken down, and one tick seems like it's just going to be impossible here for KongDoo. Luffy desperately using that Transcendence, tries to get in onto the point, but everybody else is still dying around him. CCJ and Nice. They're so hard for me for some reason, are just doing so much work, backed up by wonderful supports, by beautiful tanks, and they are ripping apart KongDoo Panthera. The timer drops down to 0. 1 point, that's it, 33%. is all that Bellum needs on point B in order to take their 3rd consecutive map.
Just feels like the game plan for KongDoo Panthera going into this series was clearly based on Youngjin flexing into tanks. And even though his McCree was pretty impressive on control, it wasn't good enough to deal with the standard Sombra dive from Bellum. Now that we're just seeing Genji Tracer here on Hanamura, Youngjin is just ineffective, and it's not his fault per se, it's just that they're unable to get him into position to get any value from the Soldier. So we're basically just watching Soldier do a little bit of damage to tanks each time he dies, to eventually get attack visor that was never going to be pulled. And he just kept running down the right side with the rest of his team into those choke points where bio grenades are getting value, where dragon blades are getting value, pulse bombs, and whenever they made the approach, it was super obvious. And when Youngjin was playing the Genji, they were still running down right, except that he was looking for flanks on the left side, and he telegraphed his movements every time. It was just so predictable what we were seeing, and with the Ana composition that Bellum was running, and nice, amazing Genji from what we've learned today, it was going to be a rough time for Youngjin. I feel like maybe even switching him back to the Genji after the Soldier was unsuccessful would have been great, but they didn't have the time bank to have that sort of flexibility. What they do now on defense, it's a mystery, but if they run the flex tanks, I just feel like it's really bad for Hanamura. And this is their map pick. Gonna keep Youngjin on the Soldier, probably boost himself up to the roof. They've been also running a lot of this Coma Mercy to help kind of pocket heal Changshik. I think that's part of the reason why, part of the reason why is because Changshik's not as known for great Winston plays, helps keep them healed up, and it also can boost Youngjin's damage if he ever does get into a position to make this work. But at least this is going to be better on defense than it is going to be on attack, the Soldier here on point A, yeah. if I could be honest.
One would hope. Otherwise, it's truly a poor situation here for KongDoo Panthera.
Hoon's not on the Zarya.
Straight up the right side here from the side of Bellum. Yeah, Nace this time.
Maybe we'll never see it again.
There on the Zarya. I swear I practiced this name too, but it just keeps slipping me up from time to time. Decay coming around the backside, looking to interrupt them, but they force him back down onto the low ground as the rest of the team continues forward, staying up high.
Yeah, Youngjin got a good angle here. The Reinhardt shield trying to block this. It's nice.
He's just burning straight through that mech. Can't quite pop it. The pocket heal coming through from Coma helps him out to stay alive and stay in that. But now they're in onto the point. KongDoo Panthera have to fight to try to regain control.
Yeah, they don't have as much melee control with the composition they have. Youngjin can't get damage done with all this shielding.
Primal Rage comes through from Changshik, but everybody focuses them down. CCJ finds the killing blow. Decay throws out the pulse bomb, gets a bit of damage in, but it's not going to be enough to claim the kill. Still just firing away blindly here as Nice just hovers around 100. Energy on this one, drops in the Graviton Surge and burns straight through the boat. Youngjin and Coma have been eliminated, and now he found a poor old woman cowering in a corner, and he shows her no mercy.
No mercy indeed. Coma is the mercy player in this case.
Yeah, he already killed the mercy. There was no mercy.
Exactly. No mercy for Ana, no mercy for Panthera.
Well, that was a bit wanting there from Decay. Well, trying desperately, but here we go.
This comp can be very strong against the Soldier composition if you can get onto the point, which we saw earlier. We saw the failed attempt from Foxes, from Seven to do so. They switched their comp. They got onto the point. Youngjin couldn't do any damage, could not get through the shielding. And this could be a similar situation here if Bellum can get onto the left side and burst their way through the choke point. Youngjin has the angle this time, because he's on defense, not on attack, to at least fire pot shots. They do get in this left side choke point. It's difficult, though, to get onto the point. No one can deal with Youngjin right now in this composition.
Yeah, nobody can close the distance other than Hoon. They're on that Diva by himself. It's not going to be that effective. They will go ahead and use the Coalescence, trying to get a bit of damage in onto him, but Nice is going to go down in the meantime, and that means Bellum, they're going to be stuck on this side of the point.
Yeah, I think this was,
comes through and everybody's just
swap, I think this was just them saying, can we get a big ult push here and win this fight? Was unsuccessful, so they're just going to switch to dive now. They have a massive time bank.
An attempt was made.
Yeah, so this was a cool idea to just get kind of lucky, or KongDoo Panthera messes up and you get a good ult, and then you build a Graviton Surge and you get the first tick, because all they need is one. But Youngjin, because he finally, for the first time this game, is in position, they just can't get through. As you say, no one except Hoon could actually go up to challenge that, and they just couldn't even get through the door. But let's see what they can do now that they're running die.
Yeah, charging up here through on the left side. Luffy's going to get jumped on down at 25 HP, and he does not have that biotic grenade, but he still somehow is alive off screen. Seems like he's going to be getting top back up here. Decay getting targeted out, will be finished off there by Rio. Doesn't get anything with his own Dragon Blade. He says, I don't need one. I'll just dash through. I'll finish off one. Hoon popped out of the mech, but he still manages to take down Chunchik, and now Luffy goes down. Koma tries to swap over here to this Moira, but immediately just gets stomped out by Rio. That's it. The first tick comes through. Another one in the book here.
What a
for
stomp.
Bellum. 3 in a row, maybe another 4-0 for them as we get ready to go on to Escort.
It's pretty telling of the scenario here and the mindset of Panthera when Youngjin was just immediately after finding no value in the middle of that fight where they were likely to lose the map, runs over and switches to Doomfist. He's hoping that's going to be enough to counter the dive, but Youngjin was a great McCree on point 1 and had some excellent moments, on map 1 on Oasis, had some excellent moments on King's Row, but this team just simply cannot empower him. They're forcing compositions that are not for this meta. Attack Soldier on Hanamura is not meta, it's not normal. They couldn't make it work. They switched to the dive, lost so much time. And then when the dive came through and he was just playing normal defensive Soldier on that point, he couldn't stay on the high ground after they switched away from the quad tank composition. And his team just isn't allowing him to do much. There's kind of some split focus, I feel like. You can either try to dive like Decay is trying to do with the rest of the team and get the backline, or you can camp and protect the Soldier, the long-range hit scan, to do longer sustained damage, but you can't do both, and it feels like that was what they were trying to do.
Well, backs are certainly against the wall for KongDoo Panthera. One more map to just try to pick up a single victory here on their debut in Contenders Korea.
It's been rough, man. I feel like we are going to have a Roar sub here, as you guys can see, so this makes sense, but it might be too little too late, to be honest with you, Achilios, as Chongshik's Winston has looked a little bit shaky. I like the idea of keeping Chongshik in when they're running the Reinhardt, when they're running these multi-tank compositions, but keeping him in for Hanamura, I think, cost them big.
Yeah, it's not been a great showing at all for KongDoo Panthera, but Meta Bellum just exploding into the scene here. This DPS duo, CCJ and Neist, as I say it correctly, have been just absolutely crushing. No matter what they're playing, it seems like things are just going well. If Neist can get onto the Genji, beautiful, because he is making a statement for one of the best ones that we have so far here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's playing really well. He's outperforming CCJ today, which was the opposite was the case back in Trials. But at the same time, I don't want to give him too much credit because I feel like Panthera is empowering him by running these Soldier compositions that don't make sense. They're not protecting the Soldier correctly. They're telegraphing their movements. And so Youngjin is just basically painting himself as a target to Neist. Neist is just doing his thing and doing it well. And, you know, Youngjin doesn't look to be a very strong Genji, unfortunately, and maybe that's why they're trying to run these tank compositions instead, because when he is playing the long-range hit scan, which is strong if they could protect him, which they could on strong maps for the tanks, where we saw it on Oasis, we saw it on King's Row, he looks like a fantastic player. But on Hanamura, when he was trying to attack Soldier, defend Soldier, the team wasn't empowering him. So I don't want to point fingers at him and blame him. We can criticize his Genji, but Neist, when you have a coordinated dive like this, when you have an Ana player who's fantastic, who's constantly giving him those nano blades, when you have a good Winston player to dive and punish, Youngjin looks like a weak player because the opponent's execution is so strong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to, sell anybody else on the side of Meta Bellum short. It really is a fantastic group effort coming through from these guys. But as far as those kill feeds are concerned, Next and CCJ have just been commanding it. This is just
Aim God,
unfortunate times there from Chongshik, and yet again, Neist comes up with the double kill just on the initial dash with that
reminiscent of what we saw yesterday from Amy, empowering Hoxel on this very same map. It's nice. Not on the Genji this time, it gets the Zarya grab. But you know what, it's a little bit sad because this makes me feel like we may never see Hoon Zarya ever again. Because Neist is this good at Zarya and Hoon wants to play the Diva he's been working to improve during the offseason. Maybe that's just it for Hoon Zarya career.
I certainly hope not. It's a wonderful treat to watch, but at the same time, kind of feels a little bit similar when it comes down to Twilight and his Sombra as well. Perhaps we will just see Haksal being the one to pilot that one moving forward. But Roar just getting set up here on the computer, making sure that all of his settings are ready to go, so we don't have to have any pauses later on in case there's any mistakes.
Certainly. Well, the go-to map pick for KongDoo Panthera has been Route 66 of late. It's a map that you can kind of run that triple or quad tank composition. I'd say quad is pretty out of the question, but triple you can sort of run it with the Roadhog. We see that in China a lot. But I just feel like if you're switching Roar in here, maybe you want to do something a little bit different. You could still run the Route 66 and play more standard dive with this Empowered Decay's playstyle more than Youngjin's. Alternatively, if they were going to keep Changshik in, or maybe if Roar is going to be playing the Winston, but they still want to run multiple tank, they could go to Dorado, which is an old favorite for this playstyle. Hoon, especially on the opponent's team, would love to go to Dorado. That's his favorite map, and we saw how good Nice Zarya is. But if you're putting putting Roar in for Changshik, I think they want to play it a little bit more standard. Could certainly be seeing the Route 66 here. Maybe even Junkertown as the final map of this series. A lot of pressure on Roar, who's never really made a huge splash as a tank. Even Rio was really considered to be a better tank than him.
Yeah.
So it feels bad that in his debut match where Panthera is the big favorite, they're supposed to crush. He gets subbed in for map 4, and he's like, well, I'm not even that great of a Winston historically. I have to prove myself now. This is my first chance in Contenders, and the series is already over. I'm just playing for a map point here. So we have a Youngjin sign here.
Nice little drawing of a KongDoo fan, just chilling, just screaming there in support of the team.
Yeah, big Youngjin fan.
Looked like something out of Attack on Titan a little bit.
Certainly did. Well,
except it was wearing clothes, but it seems like Roar might just be settled here in the booth.
The face definitely gave me that feel.
Yeah, the face was it was the clothing, the only thing that really threw me off. Ding.
Well, swag indeed.
Swag.
That's
this side might be a little bit too on the nose right now, given the way that this series has been going.
He has been, you could say, demecking himself a few times with his turning the back to the barrage, to the dives in alone. We've got a lot of fans for Panthera. Oh, signs upside down.
Yeah, some signs there for Aim God, Chara as well. So plenty of Meta Bellum fans sticking around. I wonder how many of these are new fans that came out from trials, and how many of them are just older ones that have been sticking through since even the more bleak days of Apex.
Yeah, I think
make their way in. I can see a certain map there on the screen. Seems like it's gonna be Dorado. What if it just said like it's Route 66? And we're like, wait, what?
So this is a little bit puzzling because we talked about how Changshik was the player to pick if you wanted to play multi-tank on Dorado and play the playstyle that, even though Panthera hasn't won a map with it, they've shown the most success. Like Oasis and King's Row were very competitive. Hanamura, where they couldn't run it, not so much. In fact, they died to it. But now they've brought Roar in. It's a little bit puzzling to me that we see this map choice, especially given that Meta Bellum runs this style well. And I know that I know a lot of people at home are saying, well, they don't have to triple tank on this map, Wolf. They don't have to quad tank. It's not even really meta in Overwatch League very much. It's not always the go-to. But when you have these two teams that are so well versed in it, it's surprising that it's picked with Roar in the lineup against Hoon, against a composition that they've already run on Hanamura. But it looks to be a really unusual comp here with Youngjin back onto the Hog, Ding flexing onto the Pharah. And it is going to be Decay on Tracer. They're going to be playing against that standard dive we saw on Hanamura, with Aim God going to help burst down Roar with those.
KongDoo out the gate here. Decay getting jumped on. CCJ trying to wreak some havoc here against the enemy Tracer, but now Decay's trying to turn this one around. He's going to go low, dashes back around the other side, but the tracking is just a bit too good. He will get taken down. Roar, in the meantime, has to be rezzed by Coma as he got taken out, but Coma will pay for that little res as Rio jumps forward and finishes off that Mercy. So KongDoo already having a couple struggles out the gate.
CCJ is going to switch to the Pharah. He wants the Pharah duel this. Doesn't have the Mercy to pocket him, so will be a tough ask really to win this battle. battle.
He's got the Ana at least, so they do have the long-range healing from that and the Orbs of Harmony, so it's not like he's going to be completely out of luck, but Decay, he's just going to come up with a Pulse Bomb onto both supports. AimGod and Chara completely wiped out.
And when you have Pharah in the sky on a map like this, there's just less DPS to peel, so it's easier to make plays like this as Decay does eventually go down, but this is a huge win. They're going to push it to their first point here past the fountain.
Oh, that's the point. They try to invest for this contest, but it's just not going to happen. Rio gets that nano boost and can't really find his way in, so big waste on that one there from Chara. As CCJ is going back what looks like to the spawn room to get another swap out.
Yeah. Let's see what they run here now that this has totally gone wrong. KongDoo Panthera switching Youngjin over to the Widow here because they have free line of sight. It's going to be a Widow-Widow battle with CCJ doing the same in this streets phase here in the middle of this escort map where there are a lot of line of sights. Obviously, advantage to Bellum on this high ground. They have the defender's advantage.
Remember, this is still KongDoo running just the single tank there with Roar.
Okay, now just
now
switching Ding over.
As I say it, okay. It's going to be a bit of a caster curse there, so Ding will be going back over to the D.Va. Despite building up for that barrage, wants to have that defense matrix here for the peel. The lessons coming through. Decay's on the backside. Going to take another stab at this one as Bellum just tries to stay alive. They invest that Transcendence, manage to survive for a while, but Chara will get taken down in the end. Decay dashing around the side, drops onto the low ground. Try to find some more kills, and KongDoo Panthera is swapping onto Dorado. Seems to be just working magically for them. Since 4 minutes left on the clock, and they're nearly into point B.
Roar going to drop down at this Primal Rage just to survive. Probably wasteful, unfortunately, since it wasn't really necessary there. He killed AimGod with it, but you know, could have died for it to save the Primal, but either way, this is a fantastic time for KongDoo Panthera, and it's with Youngjin on the Widow. They have they had a strong position to use it, but now it's going to get a little bit tougher as we head into the internal parts here of the final phase towards point C.
Oh, Roar is going to get taken down eventually there. CCJ finds the kill. Good attempt earlier on there from Chara to try to get the sleep dart in onto Decay. So he is just being such a pesky little tracer here into the back line. That is exactly why AimGod is charging up those right clicks to try to take him down. But he's going to be in a spot of bother. Chara trying to get around the corner, but he can't do it fast enough. And they do lose out on that Zenyatta, but CCJ able to get the kill in the end. Now it's going to be Knight coming through, Dragonblade drawn out. He's looking for the Mercy, finds one swipe, needs another one. There we go. Takes her down in the end, dashes back forward, only gets one more hit in onto Ding, but it's not enough to beat back him.
Now this is going to be a really aggressive dive up here for Panthera, but their comp just isn't suited for this. Bellum is buying so much time right now. They end up losing the D.Va, but it's going to be a remake here for Hoon. They just need to get the respawns to come through. Chara could drop a bio grenade here if they group up. I think Panthera is going to have to reset.
Really odd. I'm really confused about the lack of the staggers coming through. Didn't see it happen on King's Row. Bellum just killing Ding immediately. Could have certainly delayed for a while at that point because nobody else from Panthera was nearby. But they decided to just go ahead, finish him off, let him get back into the fight that much faster.
Perhaps a few jitters here, but look, I like Youngjin switching to the Genji here. The Widow just wasn't doing anything on attack this deep. You don't have a good line of sight into that structure. Nice just going to kite back here. They've had an old advantage this entire time because Youngjin hasn't been able to get the big blow-up kills on that Widow. Now switching over to the Genji, we'll see if they can make it happen.
Okay, into the back, throws in that pulse bomb. Transcendence is there, however, so AimGod not going to get taken down, and Chara wasn't close enough to get exploded. Rio, Primal Rage ready to go again, jumps in, wants to take out Youngjin. A couple more zaps would do it. The Moira desperately trying to spray to keep him up in the fight, and it's going to work. And 3 members are dead on the side of Bellum as they keep trying to lay just shy of point B here.
Hoon can remake. He needs to stay alive. He goes down, so there's no remake here, and that looks like it might finally be it.
He gets taken down, and Rio does not have that Primal Rage. They're just pushing forward another Dragonblade, but now it's going to be Nice coming through. He's got his Dragonblade ready to go to score orb in onto Youngjin, helps take him down, and Bellum might still be able to hold on to the payload, stopping this push from going into the station.
Buying so much time here. It's a long run back for Panthera. They're just on the edge of this checkpoint.
Beautiful turnaround there. The 180 into the melee to take down Decay.
Panthera's just bleeding members now into this point. They need to reset. They need to get a big push going. They've got the coalescence that could be what pushes them through, but not if they just keep feeding members in one by one. Not entirely sure why Decay was so alone, so far out there.
Nice here, building up as quickly as he can for another Dragon Blade. Still a ways away, and Youngjin is drawing out his own, but doesn't seem to have a target nearby. There we go, finds one. Both healers gonna be eliminated now by KongDoo Panthera as they keep trying to push forward. 40 seconds left on the clock. They might have finally gotten this done.
Yeah, there's just no way Hoon's gonna get back here. Time is actually dead, in fact, so they will finally push this through to grab 2 more minutes. But what a fantastic stall on the side of Bellum. The dive we've seen from them has been better than Panthera, so I don't blame Panthera for running these odd tank compositions, the weird soldier comps we were seeing on attack. But now they're low on time. They're going to make another switch for Youngjin, who feels like the problem player for this team in terms of impact. We're seeing CCJ and Nice have no problems with impact. They're doing so much for the team. They're going to look for a tank bust, though.
Now CCJ on the hunt, trying to take out Coma. He's got that Discord orb. He can just finish him off. One more hit. Just about would do it. The recall comes in, and he just cannot lock him down. In the meantime, the K has fallen, but so does Aim God. Chara now getting left on. Throws out that Nano Boost. Misses the sleep dart. Will get taken down by the leap in the end. Rio with a primal rage of his own, gets rid of Luffy, helps delay this card push for a little bit longer, but he's going to lose out on the primal, and now he's going to be vulnerable.
I'm still getting that pick, though, onto Youngjin before he could end up healing himself up there with the lifesteal. So the push is held for now, and KongDoo Panthera does another 180 with their comp with this Reaper. Not protected well enough to bust down the tanks. It's a big problem. They did at least force that Primal Rage to be used. They have ways to empower a big, not Beyblade, but just simply normal Death Blossom with Sound Barrier and Coalescence. But Youngjin has to get into position to make it happen. CCJ's already spotted. They're going for high ground.
Nice here. Dragon Blade's ready to go. He's going to draw it out. Jumps in here. Luffy goes down. Aim got traded out, but Nice is not done. Finds both of the healers, but the Death Blossom's there from Youngjin. A triple kill, or a double rather, as Hoon gets popped out of the mech, and Nice gets taken out. Almost a sweep coming through here onto the members of Bellum. KongDoo Panthera, they want this completion on the map, even if it's in overtime. CCJ nowhere to go. Will get taken down, and now they can gain quite a bit of ground.
Hoon wasn't able to block that damage. They killed Luffy. This was done without support. This was done without healing.
They still have a sound barrier. That's going to be the K tossing that one in, but he's got nowhere else to go. He'll get taken down. Aim God coming up with a kill. Sound barrier is out from Coma as they try to stay in the fight. They still have a little bit more distance to go if they want to finish off this map, but Rio wants to stop it right here, right now with this Primal Rage. Goes in, finds Luffy yet again. As Aim God fires away and has that Transcendence, he'll feel the pressure. He will pop that one out to help keep everybody topped up as they try to win out the fight. Youngjin so dangerously close to another Death Blossom. Gets some HP back, but he's taken out in the end as Rio finds the double kill. KongDoo Panthera struggling, just throwing bodies at the payload, but it's not enough. The meter falls down. They get the hold, but KongDoo Panthera at least got close to point C this time around.
They got pretty close. The Reaper composition, they finally were able to get into range to actually empower some of these heroes Youngjin's been running. It was the McCree they did on Oasis in game 2. Ran the McCree a little bit, ran some Widow. But now on the Reaper, they protected him well enough. He was able to get onto that high ground, drop down that Death Boss where Hoon could not mitigate it with the defense matrix. But at the end of the day, it just feels like in my research for this player, for Youngjin, and of course talking to Youngwon, a Korean analyst, talking to some teams, everyone said his biggest strength is his flex, and that has certainly been true to a certain extent, because no matter what comp they want to run, he can just switch the hero to fit the situation. The problem is that Bellum isn't switching up the comps. They're playing standard, they're playing meta, they're playing straight up normal dive, and it's just better. It's well practiced. It's something that they've been running for a long time throughout trials. And I feel like KongDoo Panthera, they have this kind of ace in the hole with Youngjin, but it's just kind of falling flat a lot of the time. Even when we have these great moments of success with the Reaper coming through here, the McCree we saw on Oasis, it's just not enough. We have these flashy moments, but the consistency isn't there. And unfortunately, that means that Bellum is poised to take this 4th map if they can get completion. We'll see how Panthera wants to try to halt this and slow this. It's their map pick. They did not play as expected. They brought Roar in on this. Not going to run the triple tank, but on defense here, we'll see if they want to switch it up. Uh-oh, Youngjin on the Soldier again.
Not too surprising. We're going to see Youngjin back here onto the Soldier, try to go for some of that mid-range high ground control.
They've been doing it with Coma Mercy every time to help boost his damage, to break through the bubbles of the Winston, to break through the Diva mech.
Full standard dive here. Decay almost goes down first and foremost.
They want him.
And he's just going to get taken out. Coma now in a bad spot. Dashes up, tries to get onto the high ground, tries to find some protection, but Hoon is hounding him down and finishes him off. A fantastic start here for Bellum as they start pushing forward already, getting that payload moving quite a bit.
The Youngjin's discorded here, looking for the 1v1. Just not going to happen against such an accomplished tracer as CCJ. Gets picked off here. The entire setup, the entire comp of Panthera is smashed yet again. And when you're running Soldier on this map, you want to hold the high ground as long as possible. You want to shut down at least 2 pushes to maybe get that tac visor, then switch. He's not even at 50%. He was killed early. There was never a line of sight for him. This is just not a good look for KongDoo Panthera.
They, however, will get another chance to contest here because the members of KongDoo, they died way too quickly. But nice, he's built up this Dragon Blade yet again, super fast. Both killers taken out. Roar gonna fall. Everybody on the side of KongDoo Panthera getting targeted out. And Ding popped out of the mech. He'll just go ahead and die. Decay's the only one to limp away with his life. And a very swift take on a point A is completed there for Bellum. 5 minutes now on the clock.
Remember, too, that when they're running Coma on the Mercy to help pocket Youngjin with damage and to help protect Roar and Ding for the peel, that means they're losing overall healing output that Lucio would provide. And that's, I think, a big loss here for this comp of Panthera. Could be an emergency save for Youngjin, but it hasn't been saving him enough. So far away from a Valkyrie, I just don't like this pick.
And Luffy's already been taken out, and now Coma has to put himself in harm's way yet again. The Tracer chasing in, but Hoon, once again, is there to scoop up the kill. Tac visor comes out from Youngjin, but an immediate turn from CCJ just cuts him down. No real value brought up here by the Soldier 76, and yet KongDoo Panthera continued to insist on running it, and now they will change it out. They say, okay, you know what? The third time it's dead, that's when we throw in the towel.
And this is for the first time we're really going to see a Sombra comp for KongDoo Panthera. They've had enough trying to do non-meta. Sure, Bellum hasn't been running really much Sombra at all either. They're just running standard dive, it's been working. Youngjin's going to do the meta pick now on the final map on their final defense. Will it be enough? Let's find out.
Luffy already getting forced out there with that Transcendence. Coma has a Valkyrie ready to go, and so far it's a decent fight here for KongDoo as they try to regain control over the payload. Nice to take it out. Rio falls as well, and Bellum is going to have to peel back as best as they can.
All right, Decay taken out here as well, looking for that back pulse bomb, got greedy. They're still gonna win the fight for the first time. Panthera stabilizes. Amgod looking for a pick here, but Youngjin, he needs to be Johnny on the spot on building that EMP because they've got a lot of time they need to burn through right now. They're still using Coma on this Mercy despite the switch. I think after Valkyrie, we will see a switch back to Lucio here, or even Ana would be a better option, I feel, given the situation. Bellum is just going to look to pick the supports here. They have CCJ and they have a Dragon Blade to do just that.
Oh, CCJ coming around the back here. Right click coming through from the Moira. Let's Luffy tries to take him out. Ding's going to go ahead and lose the mech. Offset, self-destruct to try to make it back in. Chara has fallen, so Decay still doing work on the backside of the fight. Does benefit KongDoo Panthera. Bellum still trying to move forward as best as possible. Roar here with the Primal Rage at the Discord Orb, knocked down to about half HP, gets healed back up to full as he tries to stay into the fight, but now he's going to lose the ultimate. Dragon Blade going to be drawn out here. Nice targeted down pretty low, but he's still alive and he's still slashing. Coma has been eliminated. Roar follows suit. Primal Rage from Rio gets rid of Luffy, and that should just be point B taken here by Bellum.
Youngjin has spent most of his time on the Sombra, about 2 minutes or so, dead in the spawn room. 2 minutes of time on Sombra, no EMP, no damage, which means Nice and CCJ can just run around, circles around KongDoo Panthera, killing their supports, harassing the DPS.
They get the stop here right at the last second, but the Coalescence comes down, finds Nice, but they lose out onto Roar. Decent trade here as Luffy is going to be the one claiming everybody's lives. Triple kill there with the ultimate for the Moira. Bellum will think better on this next approach, but they at least got the support all out of KongDoo Panthera, and they nearly have 2 ready to go.
Finally, Youngjin has the EMP he's been building for so long, and with a big old push around the corner, that could be critical to halting them and finally winning a map here, or at least burning through a large portion of that time bank. This could be the first EMP for this player in his career in Contenders. Let's see how it goes, because it could determine this map.
He's gonna have it. A good one. To try to swing this around. If he can get rid of Aim God, that would be instrumental in their success. Okay, into the back lines yet again. Youngjin drops down, tries to get the hack, finds one there onto Hoon, and Aimgod has already used the Transcendence. He's holding this EMP. So decent timing there, but now Luffy has fallen. Double pulse bomb, finds two supports yet again. Decay does it. Youngjin will get taken out by the self-destruct, but is it going to be enough getting rid of the healers? I think Bellum says, no healers, no problem. We're still going to win this one. Roar pops that Primal Rage. No Discord Orb to be offered up. He still can buy time.
Okay,
how much is the question?
Gonna get that hack will help knock CCJ down. But I beseech you viewers at home to watch Nice and CCJ.
As he dies.
Yeah. Well, in this case, they were fighting like 1v6, both of them.
Yeah.
But I beseech you to watch them in a regular fight and notice how little damage they take, because Youngjin has spent most of his time with his EMP now, hiding, looking for a perfect opportunity to use it. He's going to be well rewarded for it now, because they didn't have to use it. They won the fight straight up. But CCJ and Nice, when he was on the Genji, just simply are not taking much damage from Youngjin, so they're able to get those back picks. However, Roar has finally been able to find his stride here to help get these picks. Here comes the EMP.
Youngjin drops that one in. Couldn't quite tell how many people had been affected by it, but Chara answers.
Didn't hit Chara,
barrier, just help keep everybody alive into the fight as CCJ just hovers in around the payload.
No one's
9
touching
seconds
him.
left, ready to go. Sound barrier comes in just in time by Coma. Pulse bomb comes through and he will get taken down in the end, but not before Hoon gets knocked out of the mech. We're into overtime as they start tagging in onto the payload. Rio joining down here onto the low ground, has that Primal Rage ready to go to buy some extra time if need be. They need to tag back in. Manages to get it here with the ultimate, but they're still 4 meters away from this completion, and they have to go all the way pretty much to point C if they want to complete the 4-0.
I don't know if they're going to get it, though.
Panthera, they're holding out. They take down Rio. Now it's just Chara. The smackaways come down. Overtime meter ticks away, and KongDoo Panthera finally do it. Not going down without a fight. Not going down 0-4. They will close out on their last map pick here of Dorado.
We talked about how they were 6-0 in Control. They lost their first map, but they keep their unblemished 2018 record on Escort. They win their 4th in a row. Decay head in hands here. Decay and Youngjin, when he made the switch to the Sombra, really came through there. You can see he's really upset with the results today, especially with how much myself and the Korean commentators have been touting him as the best DPS in Korea. Feels pretty bad to lose this series like this and to struggle so much. But it turns out when they become meta slaves of the Sombra, when they go back to the standard play, it's what's able to halt Bellum on that point. Had some struggles with the Sombra when he was first on it, built his EMP very slowly, held it till the end, still didn't hit Lucio, the sound barrier still came down, but he came in clutch there.